Hey, everybody, Dr. Grant here. And today we're going to be talking about the best supplements that I currently use for ADHD burnout. Now, when it comes to supplements and what works best for ADHD burnout, and when I talk about ADHD burnout, it's more that mental fatigue as well as even physical fatigue that I find that adults with ADHD tend to have an issue with. And so what we have to realize is that there's certain case studies that I'm going to show because there's different scenarios with each person of what they specifically do need. So the first kind of case scenario, let me know in the chat if you relate to this. So you're someone that's dealing with ADHD burnout and you're on medications and they have been working for you, but you still feel stressed, overwhelmed, and feel something is lacking. Let me know in the chat. You can put a 1 to let me know if that is if your case scenario number 1. So the first thing that, when I get a patient like this, and so a patient that experienced this, is that we have to understand that there's a lot more going on than it just being a dopamine issue that we typically look at. So there's other things that we need to understand that helps with the dopamine process that can contribute to the ADHD burnout. And so when I tested for this, realized that there was a few things that did point out that I'm like, okay, we definitely need to fix some other things than just looking at dopamine. There's clearly phenylethylamine levels are low. There's an excitatory neurotransmitter that was low. Yes, dopamine was low. So obviously the medication wasn't doing what it needed to for this individual. And then on top of that, their norepinephrine and epinephrine levels were low. So it's hard to really manage stress when your norepinephrine and epinephrine levels are low. But on top of that, they also were dealing with low glutamate levels, as well as GABA levels were low, which helps manage our stress. So it's very difficult to manage your stress when those levels are low. Also, glycine levels were low, histamine levels were low, taurine levels were low, all very important different amino acids that help build and modulate different neurotransmitters. So what do we have to do in this case? Well, a few things. And I find that this works for a lot of people that are experiencing those type of symptoms. And first off, incorporating tyrosine to help with improving dopamine levels. On top of that is also incorporating L-theanine. L-theanine is really great for dopamine, but it also can help improve norepinephrine and in some cases epinephrine because it's helping norepinephrine. And then dealing with this, adding D-L-phenylalanine because phenylalanine does help improve that. So incorporating that amino acid helped improve that. Adding B complex because there's different B vitamins that help with all one of these stages. They're cofactors. And also Dopa Boost. So Dopa Boost has, let me use a different color here, has L-Dopa in it. It also has N-acetyl L-tyrosine in it. It also has phenylalanine in it. And so all of those are going to help improve their dopamine levels, just like this individual had. So not only was there issues with the dopamine, but also tyramine, phenylethylamine, and also glutamate, GABA. So GABA was another one where I think it's important to think of L-theanine, which L-theanine helps improve GABA because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and therefore can improve GABA levels. So that's another one that's really important to incorporate. So after incorporating all this, the individual felt less stress. My patient was able to not only have better focus, but not have that mental burnout that he was experiencing. Having that consistent inconsistency, he had more clarity of mind and consistency throughout the day of his focus and energy throughout the day. So that made a huge difference. Okay, that's case scenario number 1. Now, let me know in the chat if you are someone that is case scenario number 2. Let me know in the chat if you are someone that have that ADHD burnout, but medications have not worked for you at all. Let me know in the chat if you are one of those individuals that also feel very stressed and tired and your medications have not been working for you. So go ahead and let me know in the chat. Now, I'm not getting any kind of response. If someone can please, I wonder if there's some communication error here. Can you hear me and see me? Just let me know in the chat. Just want to make sure that I'm getting any kind of feedback because there's quite a few people on here, but not seeing any kind of response. So if you guys can put in the chat that you can hear me and see me, I just want to make sure that everything's good before I continue on forward. Go ahead and put that in the chat. I know we have a little bit of delay, just like with any live stream. Okay, it looks like Wakaza, thank you for giving me the little feedback there. You can hear and see me. Awesome. All right, so let me know in the chat if you are case scenario number 2, that you have been using ADHD medication, but it has not been working for you and you feel more stressed and tired. Okay, thank you. Now I see the comments coming in. Yes, it's all good. Yes, you can see me and hear me. Thank you guys. All right, awesome. All right. So with this individual, with this patient, you have to question, okay, if the medication is not working, and then after looking at testing, this is where it makes sense that we have to make a change in why the medication was not working in the first place. And that has to do with everything to do with here. Well, not everything, but a big part of it. If you're taking medication and it's making you feel more stressed and tired, but it's not doing much for you, it's probably because you didn't really need to do anything with the dopamine because the dopamine levels were already fine to begin with. But what was more of an issue was this right here was phenylethylamine. Also, his norepinephrine levels were high, which probably the medication was making it worse because ADHD medication will increase norepinephrine levels. So we probably need to change some dosage there, which we needed to. And then on top of that, his glycine levels were low, his histamine levels were low, and creatinine levels were low. So what we had to make adjustments here is a few things. One was incorporating L-theanine as well, because what I love about L-theanine is even if the norepinephrine and epinephrine levels are low or too high, it can help bring it into balance right in the middle. That's why I love about L-theanine is because you can use it in both case scenarios, whether it's high or low. It's a great neutralizer. The other thing, just like the other case, is incorporating phenylalanine to help improve his phenylethylamine levels that were low. And then also a big one is rhodiola. So when I see dopamine levels, or use a different color here, dopamine or norepinephrine levels more on the high side, I'll incorporate something like rhodiola because that can help kind of stabilize it in where I want it to be. And then use with this person, their B vitamins were really low. And so that's a lot of times, sometimes why it's not breaking down and utilizing such as like B5-3 right here, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, so an activated form of vitamin B6, helping breaking that down. And so that is why it's really important to making sure that you're looking at the full body perspective here and different imbalance in your biochemistry to make sure that there's nothing out of balance. Otherwise, you can miss something really critical, just like this person, of finding out that there's certain B vitamins that need to be addressed. And that's why there were some elevated levels in norepinephrine, dopamine, and stuff like that, because it wasn't being broken down and utilized with the certain cofactors that are necessary. Now, another big thing here too that I tested for is to understand why was he also feeling not only stressed and burnt out, but also tired. And that had to do a lot with his cortisol levels being really low. So you can see that he was low pretty much right from the morning all the way until early evening. No energy, just completely shot. But what was fascinating is that his things did start to pick back up and he felt a little more stressed at night. So I did a few things here to make some changes and adjustments. Is one, incorporating adrenal desiccated first thing in the morning and then afternoon, but decided to use ashwagandha more in the evening time where his cortisol levels were a little bit high and he was feeling more stressed. And so I found that, like, okay, we need to make sure that we're addressing both, because sometimes that's what's necessary to stabilize and balance when you're feeling stressed and tired at the same time and your medication's not working. So that's what I did. And so after incorporating that, he was back to feeling relaxed. He wasn't feeling stressed or tired. He was able to be focused and clear throughout the day. And that's only because we were able to identify really what it was for him specifically. All right. Now, there's another case here. Who here, but if you're in this situation, if you have been taking medications and they have not been working, but instead of it not been working, you also are feeling stressed, but more depressed and tired. So this is another situation I see a lot with patients and clients. So this patient of mine, she was feeling all these things. She was feeling more stressed, or depressed and tired, and the medications was just not working for her. So in this situation, we have to look at some other pathways that can be contributing here, which is like the serotonin pathway, which does contribute a lot to depression when you're experiencing both depression and also ADHD as well. So when I tested her, there's some few fascinating things that look a little different than the previous scenarios. One being her dopamine levels were elevated. Okay. Whereas the other ones, they were either just on the elevated cusp or they were just fine or they were low. The other thing here too is that her serotonin levels were low though. So you have two opposites. You have dopamine that was too high, serotonin was too low. And so with that, you're going to feel both stressed and depressed at the same time, along with feeling tired when you have that situation, because serotonin is what helps us feel happy, excited. So when they're low, we're going to feel depressed. But when dopamine's too high, just like she was, you're going to feel a lot more stressed, agitated. And then that's going to contribute to causing more being tired, fatigued, mentally burnout. Okay. A few other things that also want to note here with this case situation is that her histamine levels were low. And generally with histamine, when they're low, it helps build and modulate a lot of different neurotransmitters. And so we want to make sure that we're adding something like L-histidine to that. The other thing that also I want to know here is that her GABA levels were elevated. And that also will make you feel more stressed, agitated, and irritated. So those are some of the big ones I want to kind of point out here. Also, her epinephrine levels were low too. Obviously, that's going to help. That's not going to help with her stress and managing her stress when those are low. So what did I incorporate? So the supplements that I needed to incorporate with this situation with her, and you might be in this situation as well, is I did forget to mention this one too as well, is that, sorry, go back here. So two things. One is incorporating tryptophan, which, it starts at the very kind of beginning of the serotonin process, and 5-HTP. Okay. So that was important because remember, her dopamine levels were too high. 5-HTP helps with the serotonin pathway and can kind of help stabilize the increased amount of dopamine that she was experiencing. But on top of that, L-theanine is always a good one for both serotonin and also dopamine. So we wanted to use that. She also had some B vitamin issues, which are very important with the dopamine process, the serotonin process. So P5P, which is the activated form of vitamin B6. So that was very important. We tested, she had low vitamin D levels, which definitely was contributing to her depression and fatigue situation. So we incorporated that. But then I wanted to go a little further here and found out that her cortisol levels were low not first thing in the morning, but afternoon and early evening. But then they also spiked up a little bit here. So just like a little different from the previous scenario, I needed to incorporate the adrenal desiccated just not first thing, but in the afternoon. But the other thing that we needed to change was taking ashwagandha at night because it came up a little bit. And that's where she was feeling a little stressed and agitated there. So once we made those adjustments, a big drastic improvement for her. But there was one other thing that I had to note was I wanted to check to see, is her other hormones, could they be off? Are there some imbalances going on there? And most certainly there was. Her progesterone levels were low, as well as her DHEA. So we had to incorporate both of those, and that helped a lot with the mood instability that she was experiencing. So after doing that, she felt great. She finally felt more happy, had more of that clear mind, focus throughout the day. She wasn't feeling tired or mentally, burnt out, having that ADHD burnout anymore. So, but there's a few other things that are important, not just the supplements. There's more to than just taking supplements. Supplements are a great stepping stone, but usually when I see these three different scenarios, some of the big things to incorporate is also certain foods. Also, on top of that, is eliminating external and internal stressors. So, if you have any kind of stressors, we need to work on that to be able to eliminate those because that will constantly sabotage what you're doing as far as your treatment plan. Exercise is going to be very vital because, on top of that, it's going to help with recycling blood circulation, oxygen to the brain, also a lot of different hormones that are going to be circulating. And like, there's a lot too with exercise that are very important when it comes to your ADHD treatment. But if you were in scenario situation number one, what I usually will incorporate is more higher protein foods and veggies. Usually those are the two things that are really big are missing usually when you're in that situation because your dopamine levels are low. And so we need to incorporate more proteins, more amino acids that are going to help with that, and then different vegetables to balance out a lot of the different vitamins and minerals that are deficient. And then on case scenario number 2 and 3, it's going to be proteins, healthy fats, and veggies are going to be a big one. And then coaching, to keeping you accountable is always going to be really important to making sure that you are analyzing, adjusting the treatment plan and being consistent with that. And so if you would like to, find out this information for your own HD and be able to understand why am I having these symptoms? What is it about my biochemistry that's causing this? Well, it requires doing further investigation to really understand truly what is going on. Because doing this alone, it's not easy. The body is super complex. It's hard to really identify every little thing that's going on without doing some kind of investigative work and looking for someone that can do that for you. And so, finding the actual imbalances in your body chemistry is going to help you identify the root cause of your whole situation that you've been dealing with your ADHD. You also need a plan that's very customized, that's very individualized, specific to you. And you need someone that's going to analyze and adjust that treatment plan that's actually going to keep you accountable and to make it fit with your lifestyle so you can be consistent with it. And so here's exactly how I can help you out if you are interested. My health experts and I have set aside time to speak with you personally to help you get started right away. And so it's called the Focus Mindset Strategy Session. And in this Focus Mindset Strategy Session, we'll put together a specific plan for your situation to help you have better focus so you can excel in life with your ADHD. And so here's exactly how we'll do this together. First, we'll uncover what's behind your ADHD symptoms. What is that blind spot that you've never been told because you probably haven't done any kind of lab testing. You probably haven't been looked at other than just looking at your brain and your mental health, but what are other parts of your body that are actually contributing to your ADHD that are making it difficult for you to manage your ADHD and be successful and live life with your ADHD? Okay. And so then, once we've kind of determined that, then we'll put together a customized plan that will get you unstuck. And then finally, we'll determine if it makes sense for us to work together more closely. And so this is what's included. If you are interested, you'll, with the Focus Mindset Strategy Session, it's either with me or with one of my health experts. It's a 45-minute one-on-one personalized strategy session. That's a $750 value. And then you get access to our nutrition lifestyle tracking app. If you do purchase today, that's a $300 value. That's something I use with all my patients and clients. This helps us to track to determine the actual root causes of what's contributing more to your ADHD and seeing patterns within your lifestyle and the things that you're eating and the blood sugar, the high blood pressure. Like, we track a lot of different things. And so this is the app that you can be using that we use with all our patients and clients. Also, if you do purchase today, you get a bonus access to my ADHD health course. That's a $597 value. And so the whole value price it's worth is $1,647. But you get that all for just $297. So all you got to do if you're interested is you just got to click on the link in the description below. Once you click on that link in the description below, you'll come to this page. You will hit that button right there to book your consultation now, and then it'll take you to this page. You'll put in your information. You'll hit purchase. Once you've done that, then you will, this is very important. Once you've purchased, you're not done. You still need to actually book your date and time. So make sure you hit this button when you land on this page. It'll take you to here to select a date and time. If you want to see me, make sure that you select the right practitioner. I'm usually booked out pretty far out. So if you want to be seen sooner, that's why we have our other health experts. If you want to be seen sooner, but select the practitioner. And then make sure, this is really, really important. Make sure to book a date and time that if you have a spouse, a significant other, please book a date and time that works for best for both of you. We do require that they're there. And the reason why is because we want to understand what is the challenges that you're facing with your ADHD and how the outside perspective of your spouse or significant other understanding what's going on there. So that helps us more putting that together. Okay. And then you fill out your information, your name, obviously, all that info. And then you'll come to this thank you page. Make sure to check your email that you've gotten your appointment, but also that you have to activate your Practice Better account. This is how you get access to the nutrition lifestyle tracking app. You also need to fill out the client questionnaire. So you'll get that, receive that. You need to fill that out before your appointment. So please do it at least a couple days before. So me or my health experts have time to look over that to putting together your customized treatment plan. And then upload labs. This isn't a requirement, but pretty much any standard labs. No functional lab testing. It's just any kind of standard labs you've done with your doctors in the past year, not 2 years. I know I need to edit that. And then make sure to show up time. We give you a 10-minute grace period. Otherwise, we have to mark it as a no-show, but you just block it out for 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Because we might have to, if you have more questions, then we might go a full hour if we need to. But if you're interested and you really want to finally tackle your ADHD and understand the root causes of your problem and finally succeed with your ADHD, then this is your best thing, is to book that consultation and just click on that link in the description below. And I'll see you in the inside and see you on the next live stream. Thanks.